Brost has been working on. She's the Senior Manager of Resident Services for MacEwan University. Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
So what has the pandemic done to all of your plans?
Yeah, it's basically thrown out our plans completely. A normal September has totally been thrown out the window, and we've just kind of pivoted and changed all our processes and plans to accommodate the pandemic and all the guidelines that Alberta Health Services has given us to reopen. We have kind of tailored all our plans around that.
So how will it all work in the fall?
So we will open at half occupancy. So we're an apartment-style residence instead of a traditional dorm. So everybody has a self-contained unit. So they will all have their own kitchens and their own bathrooms. And typically we have 2 people live in an apartment, and we'll have 1 person live in an apartment. So there'll be no shared spaces.
Okay. And so by shared spaces, there will be no kitchens or anything like that?
There is, but each apartment has their own kitchen and their own bathroom.
Okay.
So they won't have to share with other people.
Okay.
They'll each have their own space.
Yeah. And what about other spaces? Like, I'm not sure if you had like a theater room or that sort of thing?
We do. We had a theater room, we had a games room, we had lounges on floors, and those will be closed for the fall semester. And just to stop any kind of chance there might be a spread of infection or anything like that, we're just keeping those spaces closed and letting the students stay in their suites, self-contained suites.
Mm-hmm. So it's really going to look quite different in the residence this fall.
It is. We, in residence, we pride ourselves on building community and making those connections for students, especially that first year experience. And now it's completely different because all those things that we do to make those connections we can't do anymore. So we're really trying hard to change how we look at things and really thinking outside the box. We're doing a lot of virtual events, and we're trying to still get those students connected to each other, but in a safe way.
Mm-hmm. What will you be watching out for in terms of, student mental health, given that there could be more of a feeling of isolation?
100%, yeah. We have a residence life team, so those are students and professional staff that live in the building. So they'll be, we still have a full team for residence life, and they'll be doing a lot of check-ins with students. They'll be planning virtual events, and they'll really keep that in mind, that this could be a difficult year for these students coming where they don't have roommates, they don't have those connections, maybe the first time away from home, and it's a completely different university experience.
Mm-hmm. And it's different too because many classes will also be online?
Yeah, a lot of our classes will be online, so the students may only have one class that they need to attend in person, or maybe we have some students who are going to live with us that don't need to attend class in person at all, but we give them that space of, the high-speed internet, that place where they can concentrate, depending on what they have going on at home. Maybe it's not a place where they can concentrate and do their studies, so we do have some students who will live with us who probably may never go to class in person and just are doing it online.
Yeah, so there's a lot of thought about the fact that the student could be spending a lot more time in the residence than they ever would have otherwise.
Exactly, yeah, that's right.
So what if a resident starts to show any symptoms of struggling?
Well, then we have supports on campus, so it's not just in the residence, the supports we offer. We offer peer support, and like I said, we have residence life coordinators who are professional staff that are trained to to help students through those difficult times, but we also have lots of supports on campus that we can refer them to. So there would be, our psychological and wellness services on campus that we can refer them to, and they can all connect, all these departments connect with these students, either virtually or in person safely. But that's part of living in residence, too, is that we're that conduit to the rest of campus. So if we see students struggling, we know where to refer them and how to get them the supports they need, where a student maybe wouldn't know that we even offer those supports on campus.
Mm-hmm. And what if one of your student residents is showing symptoms of COVID-19?
Yeah, we definitely have planned for that as well because, in just a normal cold and flu season, these students could be showing the same type of symptoms. So we do have plans in place that we can help students who have to isolate. So if they're showing symptoms and they need to isolate in their room, we have all the supports in place where they can stay in their room. We have, we have services like laundry service we can offer them. We've partnered with the Student Association who will provide food hampers for these students. we've, developed a process where they can get food delivered and they can get all their supplies delivered. And then we do daily check-ins with them to make sure that they're still doing okay, if their symptoms have changed. We have all those processes in place that we're ready to help these students.
Now, considering you are only having one student per unit, have you had to increase your costs for that living?
The increased costs aren't really there, but the revenue is cut in half, right? So it's just finding that balance of, we do have to cover expenses in the building, but we always put the priority of the safety of the students first. So, that's just something that we know this is going to be an off year for us, but it's something that we're just willing to navigate through.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're okay with eating the costs, at least in the short term?
In the short term, we have to, right? There's not, it's just part of the operation of, I think a lot of places in the, in the whole world and the city are dealing with some of the same situations.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting a lot of demand for housing at this point?
We are. We do anticipate to, even at half occupancy, fill the spots we have available because we do have students who, I think if they have to be on campus for a class, and I think they want to live in residence because we're offering them, 4 months, 8 month, 12-month contracts. We're offering them that flexibility instead of them signing a 12-month lease. Also, I think we give them peace of mind where we have a lot of processes in place and we have the guidelines from Alberta Health Services that we're following. So I think it's also that peace of mind that this is a safe place to live.
Yeah, we've got still a month and a half or so to go in summer, but do you feel prepared and ready to welcome the students in the fall?
I do feel prepared and ready. We actually, so when COVID hit in March, we had to put a lot of these processes in place because we had 800 students living with us at that time. So we had to quickly put a lot of these processes in place to make sure the students who remained with us were safe. So I feel like we had a head start on some of these plans because of because we were right in the middle of it very quickly. So I think throughout the summer, we've been able to build on those plans and, make them more solid, but I do feel prepared for sure.
Well, it's good to get a clearer picture of what's going to be happening. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
Wendy Brost is the senior manager.